Welcome to Scrolling to Death. I'm excited to have Titania Jordan of Bark back with me today. Hi, Titania.
Hello, thank you for having me. Number one fan
Oh my gosh.
of your podcast right here.
Me, number one fan of you. Today we're talking about Snapchat. There's so much going on, but I want to talk about Snapchat. And let's start with the latest feature that's been in the news. So Snapchat has a ranking feature, ranking system that's for free users. It's 1 through 8, and it's based off of how much you interact with other people. So the person you interact with the most is number one, and so on. But if you upgrade, if you pay for Snapchat Plus, which I think is $4.99 typically per month, but then it's discounted right now.
Nikki, they're running a
I
special.
know.
I I got to be a Snapchat Plus member to test their solar system features for a story
Uh-huh.
for only $1.99. So
Yeah, $4.99 to $1.99. That's quite a cut.
mm,
I did not upgrade. Someone's like, you should upgrade to check it out, and I was like, I can't give them my money. I can't do it.
no, I'm a little bit nauseous
I know.
about it,
I
but I had to get the screenshots. So
Yeah. So you can upgrade, and what you get with that are a number of things. One being the solar system feature. They say it's not a numbered ranking system, but I confirmed with Snapchat that it's the same ranking system as top 8, but you're placed in an orbit around, you're the like sun in the middle, and then the 1 through 8 people that you're connected with are planets in the solar system. But
mhm.
when you upgrade, you can see where you land in other people's orbits. So, just generally, how do you feel about being able to rank your friends, but also pay to see where you rank with your friends?
I feel like we're all being punked right now. Like,
Right?
what? This is so stupid. In what world, like, in what boardroom was somebody like, this is a great idea?
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe if you're trying to make everybody lose their mind.
I
Like,
know.
no, this isn't healthy for adults, and it's certainly not healthy for kids.
Right.
It does nothing to uplift humanity, make people feel good about themselves, make people feel like they actually have connection, acceptance, belonging. I mean,
Hmm.
Snapchat, lean into your billboards that you have everywhere. Less social media, more Snapchat. Sounds like social media to me.
Yeah. I got a call from one of the parent survivors that I interviewed, Kristen Bride, recently, and she said something very similar. Do you feel like they're just fooling us? Because do you feel like they're just rolling things out in order for us to catch it and then be like, oh, okay, we'll remove it? Like, she's like, I cannot imagine why they would roll this out. Like, I feel like we're all just being punked. Like, that's what she said, basically. And it does feel like that.
Oh gosh, and the quotes from the articles that have covered the fact that Snapchat has rolled this back. They're like, we can see a world in which this would not be helpful for people. I'm like, did a robot write that? Like a third grade robot write that? Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. So this has been going on, I think, for a year. Maybe they rolled it out about a year, 2 years ago, maybe 2022. I'll fact check that. But the Wall Street Journal recently did an expose saying that this solar system
Yes.
feature feeds teen anxiety. So, yeah, I got asked to speak on Fox News. You were asked to speak on the feature on the news as well. And after I spoke out, I got an email from Snapchat asking to if they can show me the feature because there was some critical inconsistencies in how I described it. And I, so I
Hmm.
first called my lawyer friend and was like, should I take this call? I'm a little,
Right.
they're scary. And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, you want to take the call. You don't want them to be able to say I didn't take the call. So
Right.
we got on the phone. They explained how the feature works. I think the only thing that I maybe caught myself on was you can't choose. I compared it to MySpace's top 8, where you
Right.
could choose where people
Mhm.
land in the top 8. That's not what it is, and I clarify that. And
Which is even worse.
there, I know it's like not better. It's still harmful. Thank you for the explanation. Also, they leaned a lot on the fact that only 1% of their users upgrade to Snapchat Plus. But when you're talking about 800 million monthly users, that's a hell of a lot still. So they're just trying to downplay the amount
Yeah.
of people that actually use it. So yeah, it might be harmful, but only some people use it. Like what?
It's only a little bit harmful.
Right. It's only harmful to a few people, to a
It's like a
few
few people.
million people.
Yeah. It's like a few million people drunk driving. Not
Right.
scary.
No, we'll
Like,
just let
what?
them do it.
Yeah.
So, Anyway, so a few days later, they announced in an update on their website. I don't know if you've read it. I finally read it today in full, and I was like, they are so full of shit. I was like, they they said it starts with like, though I think there's been some confusion over how it works. We've taken a look, and I mean, just and going into how much good feedback they received, how much people love this solar system feature first before they go into the fact that we're always reviewing our systems and taking feedback, and so they decided to remove the feature by default, the solar system feature.
Yeah.
So, but then I opened Snapchat the next day, and it still, first thing it prompted me to do was upgrade to Snapchat Plus. And then in the promo for it was solar system feature still before I even sign up. So if it's not on by default, why are we promoting it for the upgrade? And
100%.
I wonder if when you click to upgrade, if it gives you a pop-up that says, solar system is off by default, you can turn it on here. Like they prompt you to turn it on. I wonder. I don't know for sure, but
So I'm looking at my phone because I just did this yesterday.
mm-hmm.
Yesterday. So first
Mm-hmm.
thing is 199. No,
Mm-hmm.
it's a deal, right? Upgrade to
Mm-hmm.
Snapchat Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. I gave him my money.
Yep.
And there it is, the solar system.
Right.
It's right there. Solar system. Okay. And boom, big promo for it.
Yep.
Like
Correct. Right.
solar system
Right.
and pin your best friend and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And
Rank more friends. 16 instead of 8.
yeah, and they said it's off by default. No, it's not. I did not turn this on. It's on. It's
Are
on
you
by default.
kidding me,
It
Titania?
is on by
And you
default.
just
Plus.
upgraded.
Yeah, so it's not off. It's not off. They're off. They're rocker.
Are they insane? They're just lying? I don't understand this, Titania. I'm
Well,
so confused.
so this could be a critical inconsistency. They say for new users. I'm not a new user. Maybe they mean for everybody who signs up for Snapchat, let's say today, moving
Shut
forward.
up.
That's the only loophole I can think of. And if they're listening to this, you're welcome for that.
God.
I know.
I thought
It's
maybe
so
they're
gross.
rolling it out. Maybe they're rolling it out to people over time, but because these companies they make updates
Yeah.
and they want you to think it's already happened, but really it's like in development. So who knows what the timeline is.
Right.
Okay. Fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you had just done that because I didn't realize it's on by default and it's supposed to be off. Okay.
It's on by default as of yesterday, April 11th.
And they made the update, I think, on Sunday. So this is like 5 days later.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. So
So we still feel, at least me, we
Mhm.
still feel Snapchat is not good for children. It's not good for teenagers. It's
Mhm.
probably not that great for adults, but if you're an adult, you do what you want.
Right,
Still
totally.
feel that way. Still.
Agree. Okay, and this is just one feature, right? And it sucks, but there's been a lot of focus on it lately. But it's not even, I would say, the most harmful of the features that Snapchat offers. And
Right.
I thought we could take a few minutes just to introduce parents to other Snapchat features that they may want to know that their kids are accessing.
Yes. Yes. Like I am here for this.
I know. So, okay, there's a few. Where do I start? Let's start with Snap Map. So,
Sure.
what highlights do you feel like parents should know about Snap Map?
So you mean besides the fact that the app in general, the whole premise for it is to send disappearing nudes? Like, let's remind everybody about that danger. Like,
I can't
we're
even.
putting that
Sorry.
one to the side. That one's going on the shelf.
Had a cough attack from that.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about 6 more dangers besides the nudes.
Yeah.
One of which, Snap Map.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, for those of you who don't know, who let your kids have Snapchat and you don't have it yourself,
Mm-hmm.
your kids have Snap Map where they can share their Snapchat stories publicly
Mm-hmm.
and see those of complete strangers on a real-time map and broadcast their real-time live location to anyone they are connected to on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is not as problematic if they only have 1 or 2 friends, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
if they always remain in ghost mode.
Mm-hmm.
But kids don't. They
Right.
have more friends. They don't stay in ghost mode. So if you're cool with everybody knowing where your kid is at all times and being able to zoom down to the real like visual description of the exterior of the building they're in, go ahead and let them use Snapchat.
Mm-hmm. So if it's just their friends that can find their location, that's still an issue. Imagine all your friends you see all your friends hanging out at like the pizza place down the street and you weren't invited and you can see them all together virtually, but you're at home. Like that's a horrible thing to know and feel. There's that, but there's also the fact that yes, they are sharing their location publicly often and predators can access them. I also want to make a very strong point here that I recently talked to a retired DEA agent, and he said that users of Snapchat will use Snap Maps so they'll go to a high school or a concert where there's younger people, and they'll go on Snap Map and they'll market their ad for drugs, and then kids can find the ad and find the drug dealer and do the deal of drugs. And kids are also using it to share their home location to drug dealers, and drug dealers are coming to their home, dropping the pill or whatever outside on their driveway. So really just not a safe feature for kids. We might not want to know where our kids are, but we don't want our kids to be able to broadcast their location to strangers and predators and drug dealers.
No, not at all. Again, in what world does that make sense? Not this one.
Nope.
And so I said six different dangers, and you kind of teed me right up for the second one, which is drugs and drug dealers. Oh gosh, you had Sam Chapman on, and that man,
yeah,
such a wonderful human,
yep.
such a strong advocate, and his son Sammy. This thing we just talked about happened to him, and you just never think it will happen to your child, and then then it does. So the fact that drug dealers can deliver drugs as easily as a pizza to our kids without us knowing, it's disgusting. It's terrifying. It's wrong. It's not okay.
And Sammy got offered a free pill, and the drug dealer dropped it off at his house. And they do this because these pills often have fentanyl in them, which is what Sammy died from. And you'll get so addicted that you give them one or two free ones, and then they're buying from there. And these are normal kids. These are not drug addict kids. These are kids that just want to maybe experiment like we all did.
Yes, exactly. It's not okay. And that's just two. That's two of these six dangers that exist.
Yeah.
Next one is just nonstop friend drama and FOMO.
Yeah.
We alluded to this with the Snap Maps, but bullying is so widespread on Snapchat. A lot of children have like a grade-wide Snap chat group, like messaging group going on, and it's just constant stupidity and bullying. It's not like uplifting conversations like, how can we rally to clean campus? Like, no, that's not what's happening there. And we also mentioned the FOMO, but it's exacerbating feeling that you're not good enough, you're somehow less popular, you're somehow less important, and that is taking a toll on children's mental and emotional well-being.
Yeah, we're seeing it in the rates of mental health issues and anxiety and depression, suicidal ideation.
Yeah. The fourth danger, my AI.
Yeah, let's talk about that chatbot. So what is that again?
So there's a new chatbot that Snap rolled out without asking any parent, for the permission to do that in their child's feed. But so all of a sudden, one day, kids open Snapchat and there's this thing called My AI that they can chat with and that they actually can't turn off. They can't turn it off.
Okay.
And at least not easily or without upgrading, to Snapchat Plus.
Yeah.
But a tech columnist at the Washington Post experimented with the chatbot, and others have as well, and found glaring issues. Chatting with the chatbot to figure out how to lose your virginity when the chatbot thinks you're 13 and talking about experience with an adult. Advice around alcohol and how to cover up the smell of alcohol, right? If you're drinking underage. Those are just two of the many examples of, it's not okay. It's not okay.
Nope. Okay. What else do we got?
Um, we've got just inappropriate content. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have surfaced a lot of inappropriate content
Mm-hmm.
that you've found on Snapchat.
What
And
about
again, this is
so yeah, and so what about the My Eyes Only encrypted data vault? So what's that?
yeah, there's a Vault app built
Yeah,
into Snapchat
right.
where kids can store photos, files, and sometimes even other apps that are locked behind a passcode. So
Mm-hmm.
even if you know your child's Snapchat username and password,
Mm-hmm.
unless you also know their My Eyes Only password, there's still things you might not be able to see.
Yeah. Do you feel like children, minors deserve that level of privacy?
No, minors deserve a safe place. And a safe place is different than privacy
Mm-hmm.
that can sometimes not be safe.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Okay. And Snap tokens. So this is new. They rolled out tokens within the app. They can be purchased and purchased with your money, probably, and as the parent. And then kids can use them to buy digital goods. And each user on Snapchat, so you don't use your real image, you you create a Bitmoji, which is like a innocent looking like angel character of yourself, and you can change, buy new clothes and things. So just for me, that was like, why do we need, they just seem like desperate for revenue, and like they're charging people for pointless things within the app. And I actually was trying to find out like what can you buy with Snapchat tokens. There was like, it's very difficult to find out. And so I was, but I don't want to buy them on the app, so I was going to look into that. But
Well, not only that, but that's an avenue too. Like anything that gives adults the ability to gift children things in app,
mm,
circumventing normal financial institutions or parental permission, again,
mm-hmm,
is a pathway for grooming. So,
yeah. Right, because they can gift the tokens to each other.
mhm.
Okay. So adult predators can use that to, hey, I'll give you some tokens you can use if you send me a nude photo, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you can redeem tokens for gifts to send to a creator and start building a relationship, which is
Mm-hmm.
fine if everything's above board.
Mm-hmm. But we've seen it's not typically.
Correct.
Okay. Anything else before I just go into the disappearing message feature that I want
No, go,
to? Okay.
go
So
for it.
So Snapchat really leans on like, this is supposed to be like a real conversation where you send something and it goes away. Like in real life, we have this conversation. Obviously, we're recording today, but if we were together, it doesn't hang around forever, which I think is kind of like a smart kind of dupe. It's like a smart way to try to spin it. Um, but what do you feel like the harm can be around their messages disappearing?
There's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I say that a lot, but children are already in a mindset where they're not thinking long term.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is very fleeting and immediate. And
Mm-hmm.
so, if they're not fully understanding digital footprints, or the fact that even if they're uploading media or text based things or emojis to something that purportedly disappears,
Mm-hmm.
it still lives somewhere on a server, right? For
Yeah.
some length of time.
Yeah.
It can also be captured. Somebody could be sitting beside that user and take a photo of it, and you
Mm-hmm.
won't get a notification that there was a screenshot taken
Mm-hmm.
directly.
Yeah.
Um, so anything digital is not, you just need to go ahead and assume is not disappearing, even if it
Mm-hmm.
says it's disappearing. It has, permanence and public aspect to it, even if you think it's private.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a problem. It's a
Yeah.
problem. Good kids make bad choices.
Yeah.
I did some really stupid things when I was younger. And
Right.
thank God I didn't have social media to capture it
Mm-hmm.
or use it against me when I want to try to get my first job or get into college or
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Yeah. So kids are encouraged to share things that it says they'll go away, but other users can screenshot it. And
Yes.
also, and also like police can get access to it. Snapchat is not great at working with the police in cases specifically due to the drug dealing, but
Right.
it is there. It is there. Um, Okay. And that's something that, and we'll talk about what Bark offers to help monitor for these things, but Bark, like no one can monitor the images, right, on Snapchat that get sent back and forth.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, Snapchat will not open their API to any third-party safety solution to help make their platform safer.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So when it comes to the disappearing messages, I think it's important for parents to know that Snapchat is not the only place where kids are getting encouraged to send messages that they think disappear. So, so for example, WhatsApp has a setting where messages can disappear after you can set it to 24 hours or 7 days or 90 days. Instagram now has vanish mode. I've turned it on accident when I like swipe
Yes,
up
me
or
too.
something. I'm like, what is this?
It's so awkward too because the person's like, "Did you mean to
Do
send?"
they get an alert? Uh-oh.
When they open it and they see that you have
Oh,
changed it to vanishing mode, they're like, "Oh, what are we going to be chatting about today?" You're like, "I didn't do that on purpose."
see, I don't need that. Like, I don't need, if I'm going to have a chat with someone, I'm okay. Like, it should be there just in case. Okay. Um, Telegram, which is a Meta product, they have a vanishing feature. And then iMessage even has undo send feature. So there are numerous ways that kids can like hide what they're doing, and they're being encouraged to use platforms that they're being encouraged by the platforms to hide their messages. So this is a problem because they're getting access to so much harmful content and strangers that are that are predatory, and parents, we deserve some sort of we deserve to know what's going on so that we can have those conversations. I mean, ideally, proactively, we have conversations about what could be harmful, and then they come to us. But in a lot of ways, you know, that stuff kind of happens before we have a chance to prep them. And so, can you tell listeners about how Bark technology helps parents to help their children through some of these harmful experiences?
Yeah, for sure. So when we're just talking about disappearing messages,
Mm-hmm.
um, our app and our smartphone cover a lot of the popular apps. Um, it's nuanced with Snapchat, but the Bark phone has the most comprehensive coverage of Snapchat of any platform or app.
Mm.
Instagram, WhatsApp, iMessage, we can monitor it. We do monitor it. And so if your child sends a risky text,
Mm-hmm.
our powerful AI will scan it and look for the specific context that indicates a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll get an alert so you know what to do and how to talk to your children about it.
Mm-hmm.
It can even catch messages that purportedly disappear in some cases.
Mm.
Not 100% of the time, but it can, and it has saved lives because of it, especially in cases like school shooting threats, for
Mm-hmm.
example. That's been scary. Um, when it comes to Snapchat in particular,
Mm-hmm.
this is why I'm so thrilled that the Bark phone exists, and I
Yeah.
wish it existed when I gave my son a smartphone, which was not a good not a good idea when I did it.
Mm-hmm.
But on the Bark phone, when it comes to Snapchat,
Mm-hmm.
it can monitor direct messages, text chats only, which kids are doing a lot of,
Mm-hmm.
my AI chats. So if you're worried about a chat bot leading your child astray, at least Bark can alert you,
Mm-hmm.
and searches. And children are not searching Google as much anymore. They're
Mm-hmm.
searching on TikTok and Snapchat, etc., to find truth, which is terrifying in and
Yes.
of itself.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And so if you're listening, you know, if you've listened to this episode and you're like, but I don't want my kid to have Snapchat, a lot of kids are sneaking Snapchat. How does the Bark phone help with that?
Yeah, so if your child tries to create a Snapchat account or go onto a browser, because now you can access Snapchat from a browser, not just from an app. So
Mm.
Bark can alert you when your child has encountered Snapchat in a variety of ways or tried to access Snapchat in a variety of ways. And it can also just block it outright. If
Mm-hmm.
you do not want your child to access Snapchat, it can turn off access to the app
Mm-hmm.
and or the URL when they try to access it.
Yeah. Great. Okay. And I want to touch on nude imagery, which
Yes.
Snapchat is like the prime platform that kids are using to send nudes back and forth. And unfortunately, because we don't have access to the API, Snapchat doesn't allow us to have access to the API. We can't get alerts of nude images sent on Snapchat. That's correct, right?
That is correct. And like that's a big red flag
Yeah.
that I hope you spend more time covering outside of the time we have together,
Mm-hmm.
because the fact that a platform allows 13-year-olds on it, and the premise of it is to send disappearing photos, they know that there are nude photos going back and forth of children. And
Mm-hmm.
what is that? That's child sexual abuse material.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line, against the law, children are being abused every single day on their platform, and nobody is doing anything about it.
Wow. Yep. So Meta just yesterday announced that they are going to start blurring
Mm-hmm.
nude imagery that gets sent in direct messages on
Right.
Instagram, on Instagram.
Yep.
And I was like, great, that's great. So I look at the article and their announcement and I'm like, oh no, it's just blurred. And then it gives you the chance to open it if you want. It's just like, this may be nude imagery, but you can click here and open it right up. So there is the functionality to be able to see a nude photo or catch a nude photo coming through. Does Bark do that in any of the features on the phone, as far as like detecting nude imagery being sent?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So at Bark, we believe that children are not in the best place for sending or receiving nudes. We don't feel like that's what they need to be doing. And
Sure.
so we don't allow them to do that. We don't give them the option to still send or view it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even let it be saved to the camera roll, much less sent or received. So the Bark phone, um, we take a firm stance against CSAM.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if you don't want your child sending nudes of themselves, Bark phone is probably the best choice for you when it's time for your child to have a phone.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that, because this is such a problem for kids these days. And with AI and all the things you can do with images of kids, it's getting very, very scary. And so I was excited to see Meta's update today for Instagram, but then very disappointed. And so the social media platforms just generally like are not censoring or stopping our kids from sending nudes back and forth. Thankfully, we have products like the Bark phone now. And this is just in the last couple of years that we have access to products like this. And so we need to tell everyone we know that we need to give our kids safe phones that only give them access to what we want them to, that don't allow them to engage in child sexual abuse material activities that they can get charged for now in certain states. And I want to say too that the parents could be liable if our kids are sending around photos of other minors. I wonder if the parents can be liable at some point in some of these cases, because it's our phone.
Yeah, if you own the device that's registered in your name and there's CSAM on it,
Yeah, let's
it's,
be
that's terrifying.
real careful with that. Um, so anything else you want to share on Snapchat, harmful feature that we didn't cover? Anything else that you want parents to know about the Bark phone and how it can help keep our kids safe from these harms?
Well, since Snapchat is now an active listener to your podcast, I just want to say hi. Hi, Snapchat. You have the opportunity to do good in the world, and you can do that by working with Bark. We would love to work with you to help make your platform a safer place for kids. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think you'll take me up on it, but it doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah.
With regards to the Bark phone, I just want people to know it exists, right? Like,
Yeah.
Nikki, you have such a wonderful platform, podcast, social media presences. Your reporting is second to none. Like, you are covering the issues and talking to all the important people and telling the right stories. And I'm just thankful that you've decided that the Bark phone is something worth talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want everybody to know it's an option. I don't
Yeah.
think children need smartphones sooner than they were already going to get one, just because there's a safer one out there. But if and when it's time, just pick a safer choice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Bark phone.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Titania. This is so important, this conversation. And I hope parents just reflect a little bit on the harmful aspects of Snapchat and all social media platforms and make those safe decisions and smart decisions with what they allow their kids to have access to and what kind of devices they hand their kids. So thank you, Titania.
Thank you, Nikki. Keep fighting the good fight. Keep putting it out there. And if there's anything that I or the Parenting in a Tech World community can do to help you and support you, don't hesitate to ask.
I will. Thank you.